Hi, I'm Mario Evon, and you're listening to Talk Truth, a weekly edutainment podcast discussing the things that most people are afraid to, but from a Jamaican perspective. From relationships, sex and sexuality, to the ins and outs of entrepreneurship, in this space we speak about almost anything with the intention to inspire, educate, entertain, and create a fair and balanced space where your truth shall become your power and set you free. Welcome to episode number 13. This is your boy Mario Evon, and you're listening to Talk Truth. You don't know. We reach here. We keep building, we keep growing, we keep moving. Before we kick off this episode, I just want to read two reviews, not interviews. And these are coming from Twitter. And one is from Kelly McIntosh, and her name is at Kelly Catherine. And she says, wonderful episode. Authentic, raw, compassionate, helpful, hopeful. This at Talk Truth JA by at Mario Evon is fast becoming one of my favorite podcasts. Interesting topics, easy style, not too long. I like it. Thank you, Kelly McIntosh. And this was the episode on comparisons last week. Really appreciate your review. And I'm going to read one more from the Urban Hermit on Twitter. Goes by the name of at Mackenzie Ziggy. And he says, at Mario Evon, this episode of Talk Truth hits home. Often my family or friends will say, when are you going to use that degree? Or when are you going to settle down? Like me tell them, say, settle down was a goal. I have learned along this journey not to compare myself with people's journey. Thank you very much, Urban Hermit. That's appreciated, and I totally concur. We all have individual journeys, and we need to embrace, wrap ourselves around it, and love it up. Thank you for the reviews. Keep sending them in. And today's episode is going to be about real life. We're just going to talk some things, and I'm going to interview a sister of mine who goes by the name, well, she'll tell you in a second. And we're going to be talking about her experience being a first-time mother and what life leading up to that was like, and what life has been like trying to get back into the game, trying to lose back your weight, trying to date, trying to just figure out how to get your footing with a newborn. So, yeah, check it out. Hi, Stacy. Hi.
What about Mario?
I'm good. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
Okay, so birth name Stacy-Ann Sutherland. Probably known to most people as SAS or SAS Films, and I'm a filmmaker.
So SAS is your initials. That's Stacy-Ann Sutherland. SAS.
Yeah.
I've
Did
seen
you just
that before.
Get that?
No, I get it. I just that it took me a second in the beginning when I used to see it.
Yeah, those who forget to get it.
You describe yourself as a while ago, a filmmaker?
Well, I guess on paper that's what I would write, but more a storyteller. A creative being.
Right,
Yeah.
but storytelling can happen in different formats. It doesn't have to be film, right?
All right, definitely.
Wonderful. And how you got into film? I know it's not about you being a filmmaker, but what about film do you like?
Okay. Well, growing up, I was always in the entertainment industry in terms of like the arts,
Right.
but I was more in front of the camera because I was dancing with Stella Maris from I was like 3. I took part in a lot of acting and modeling classes like over the summer. So, being on stage was always natural to me.
Right, so
little theater and all them type
You
of
were the
something.
performer, then you became the person behind the camera.
Right, because I didn't like the aspect of all the attention being on me or, people just, oh, you're such a great dancer. I didn't like that attention. I wanted to go behind the scenes. And I mean, from a more local standpoint, I always had a problem with just like the quality of content coming off for TVG and CBM at the time that I was growing up.
Right.
So for me, it was just like,
you wanted to create something
bring the
better.
creativity behind the scenes, behind
Right.
the camera. So you probably have more control that way.
Right, and also lift the standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's get into the meat of the matter. So you are, how old are you now, if you don't mind sharing?
I don't care.
All right.
29.
You're
I'm
29, so you're young in my books. And you are a first-time mother.
Yes.
So what I really want to talk about today is kind of what that journey has been like, becoming a mother and what it's like now having the child and kind of moving forward as a mom, dating, getting your body back, just feeling like whatever your quote-unquote old self was. So what I want to ask you first is, before you were pregnant, what did you envision being a mother like, and in what environment? Like, were you married? Were you not married?
Yeah, okay. I think I've always dreamt about that day that I'd become a mom ever since I was a little girl. Because, I grew up with dogs. So when I had puppies, I would, we get puppies, they're puppies. The moms aren't there. So
Right.
I would sort of be like the mom.
Well, that's true. I grew up with dogs too, so I understand.
Right, I was very motherly to the point where I think, which this might be a little weird to people, but it's talk truth, so I'm going to talk the truth. I used to try and breastfeed them.
I know you were going to say that,
But
I just knew you were going to try and breastfeed them. That's so weird.
Because I used to see it happen. I mean, I was like 5, 6 at the time, so
But you didn't
mentally,
even have breasts at 5, 6.
I had nipples.
But you knew that dogs needed milk.
Yeah,
from
I know
a breast.
that. Yeah, nipples,
Actually,
breasts.
at 5, that
just,
would make sense in terms of where the mind of a 5-year-old is.
right, which I got in trouble for.
Of course you did. You probably
But just the reality of, wanting to nurture. And I've always been that person amongst my friends.
Right.
Like the nurturer, the person that they come to for advice,
So you always had a maternal instinct. And that's
Right.
interesting. I have friends who never wanted children. They
Yeah,
want now
I
that they're
think that
older,
too.
but they're just not interested. Wow. All right. So you always kind of wanted a child. Where did it progress after that? So you were a little kid then.
Right. And then, when you get into your little teenage years and you have like a boyfriend and thing, of course, I wanted to be married, in a very loving, committed relationship, certain things in place, like my own house and, a lot of money in the bank.
Right.
That type of thing.
Would
That
you say
was
that
the
was
ideal
the
situation.
example? You had an example of a stable unit growing up?
Yeah, I grew up with both parents.
Right.
Both parents. So that level of stability was always in my life. They did provide well. So I know I didn't want for anything, but what we got is what we want, what we needed, what we wanted.
Right.
It wasn't a lavish lifestyle. Like probably at once a month we would, go out of town or, stuff like that. But it wasn't like.
But you were comfortable.
Yeah, I was comfortable.
And you felt loved.
Yes.
All right. So let's move further down in life. So clearly to have a baby you have to be having sex. So I mean all right,
Yes.
we've hopped and skipped.
Unless
there's so many different ways
in
nowadays.
vitro
We
and
kind
all
of
these
in
things,
vitro.
but-
That's right. We have this 2019.
Yes, but I had sex to have a baby. Yes.
You had sex to have a baby. All right, I like how you said that. But did you have sex with the intention of having a baby?
No.
By the way, when your baby gets big, we're not going to allow them to hear this episode.
Listen, King and I have a very honest relationship, right? I keep it very real with him. Him was in the womb.
Wow, your
Cause
baby's name is King?
yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, King.
What made you call him King?
Because of the fact that from I was pregnant, I knew that I would be a single mom just because of the situation.
Right.
And I knew that he would be the only man in my life. So he would be my king.
Yo, that deep,
Yeah.
Yo, I hope you wrote that song, but you're not a songwriter, but you're a storyteller.
No, I can write song to Mario.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
but-
right. Okay, fine, right. Yeah,
Right,
you do a lot of
everything
things.
in the works, man. I even been recording his little voice what you call
So
it?
you have
his little
samples?
samples of his voice.
Right.
So at one point in time, I do plan to put
you
them
can
together.
be like DJ
build a
Khaled,
nice rhythm,
and then when
right?
you have but you have to do it soon, so you can take pictures with him in every album cover like Khaled.
Don't it?
Anyway, that will happen.
Yeah. Speak it into existence.
You said something that I liked a while ago. All right, so you said you're a single mom. I want you to define what that means to you, because for some people, being a single mom means the father just take with himself. In
Which
our
is
context,
sad. That's a big
there's no that.
misconception.
But in your context,
That is present.
that is present.
Yeah,
All right.
he's present.
So what do you mean by being a single mother?
Meaning that I'm not in a relationship.
Right.
I am single.
Right, not married and not living together.
Right.
All right, fine. So, all right, that's cool though. So, all right, that is in the picture. But I guess you say you do the bulk of
Yeah, I mean, he
of
lives
the
with me.
of the rearing.
He lives with me, so I am, probably the main parent around. But he's very present. He knows who his dad is. His dad provides. His dad spend time
Right.
with him, so he's very present. But the reality is that we're not in a relationship, so
Right.
we're not in the same household.
Got you. All right, tell me a bit about the pregnancy. So you, all right, tell me about the big finding out about it. Cause of course that is always a very exciting time when you miss that period, or you're like, what the hell?
It was a shock. It was one of those situations where I realized that my period is late, and I'm like, what is going on? And I have been pregnant before, but I didn't carry the baby. So the reality is that okay. Disclaimer, I'm a very spiritual person.
Right.
So I believe that I feel things within my body that probably the average person wouldn't feel. So
based on how you connect to nature and environment and
right,
life, right?
just about how grounded I am as an individual.
Right.
So the time before this, when I was pregnant, I could feel and knew that I was pregnant before I found out I was. And this time around, I had the same feeling. So when I took the test and I saw that I was, I'm just like, that is why certain things are happening, because like a month before I was just like getting in arguments with everybody.
Okay, so you felt a little different.
Off. And it
off,
wasn't
yeah.
my PMS or anything like that. It was just a different energy was surrounding me.
All right, so you find out, well, you kind of felt you were pregnant. The test confirms you're pregnant. Now I'm pregnant. What is the next 9 months like?
Well, my pregnancy was a roller coaster ride. It was, first of all, a healthy pregnancy, so I have to give thanks for that. I didn't have any complications.
Diabetes or high blood pressure.
Nothing. I did yoga up till I was 9 months.
Yeah, so you did holy vomiting and these things?
No, just the first trimester.
Which happens, right?
Right, and then I already suffer from IBS, which I throw up sometimes, so the nausea aspect of it was, the throwing up wasn't bad, but the nausea is what was hard to deal with, you know. That was annoying, and I think it came back around towards the end too. Yeah, it did.
But overall, healthy. You were relatively active, pretty active.
Yes, I was working, editing, shooting, directing, all of that.
Would you say that as you were becoming more pregnant, as your body is changing, that you feel people change around you, like you feel any differences in terms of how people respond to you?
I lost friends. I lost friends during my pregnancy.
But why do you think you lost them though? It wasn't because you were pregnant.
No, I don't honestly, I don't care. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if it's because I was pregnant. I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Right.
So that time in my life was a time when I got to see who was real and who was not real.
Right.
You know, because I believe that that's a very important time in any woman's life. And if you are really close to me, you would know how much it means to me. So you'd make yourself present and you'd be there. So the friends I lost, it's just time to exit my life. Reality.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all revelations of personal truths are very telling to filter who is around you and who's not around you, you know? Wow. All right. Tell me about some of the body changes. So you remember how much weight you gained in your pregnancy?
When I gave birth, I was 213 pounds.
What you say?
Yeah.
I mean, describe Stacy. She's not a big girl. She's not maga, but she have body.
I was 135 when I found out I was pregnant.
All right, so that's a small person.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
5'6" or 5'7".
Yeah, 135, 5'6". You're yeah.
Yeah, my body did have gone them time there.
Also, you really put on some weight then.
I did, but I did it willingly. Like I knew I wanted to be one of those pregnant women that me hungry. Me said that, me I eat this, me I eat that. I don't care.
Why not?
Because it's my, why not for
and
you?
you were hungry.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Sometimes I wish I could get pregnant for an
but
excuse to eat.
I heard that misconception. That's a misconception, you know.
Which part?
That you're eating for two. That you're supposed to eat for two. I heard that's a myth. I found that out while I was pregnant.
It's not totally true. I mean, you're supposed to gain some weight, of course. Yeah. But I mean,
like literally pack 2 plates. Like, you go a family dinner and say, I want 2 plates of food.
That's not necessary.
Yeah, I heard that.
You just need to eat well, but you don't need to be eating double.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All right. So weight gain was real, and you say your pregnancy was healthy. Are there any other really distinguishing things that happened that stand out to you in the 9-month process?
My hair and my skin. I don't know if that was because of the prenatals though, but my hair and my skin.
You mean they were popping or they were popping down?
My skin was glowing. My nails was growing fast. My hair was shiny and long and bouncy.
Pregnancy can be good to some people, you know?
Yeah, it was really good to me. I'm not gonna lie, King was good to me. The only thing that was rough of my pregnancy was the emotional aspect of it, because I never pictured myself being a person being pregnant and not having my partner there with me.
Right. We had to do ultrasounds and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was present for those stuff because he was still invested in his child's life,
but just
and
not
everything
always
was okay.
with your every.
Just emotionally,
right.
I went through it basically on my own, aside from my doula, and my midwife.
So you had a doula?
Yeah, because I had a home birth. I had a home water birth.
Well, yeah, say to me. All right. Well,
Barbican in Bond.
That's the segue. Barbican in water. So tell me about that whole doula and water birth experience. Yeah. You weren't afraid that you would have a complication, or you were prepared to run to a hospital?
We had you on standby, because even throughout the time I was still going to the checkups at UA.
Right.
So they were aware of everything that was going on with my pregnancy. But I've always wanted to. I promised myself that my first child would be a water birth. I just thought it was so cool.
So how the water bird thing going to Jamaica? I don't know. Them have some big pool. Is one like a rubber ducky thing with the people them playing and then put little water in it. How it go? I really don't know.
It's a pool. It's a big blue pool. Probably about the size of your table.
Right.
And which
if I gave you dimensions would be around, I don't know, maybe 4 by 3.
It's a good rectangle.
A rectangle. Okay.
It's enough for 2 people to sit in comfortably.
Right. Bigger than a bathtub.
And I think my midwife, I believe, I think there are other 2, probably 2, but she's the one that does the most in Jamaica. Tayuma, big up yourself.
Right.
And I met her through my doula, Liz, big up yourself. And we met, and she did similar checkups like I would do when I was at the hospital.
Right.
And when it got close to the time when my water broke, because her apartment is where we did it, because she does it so regularly that she has a space.
Okay.
And it's an apartment.
And
like,
I mean,
bedroom, kitchen,
you do a water bird standing, right?
Well, I dreamt that I was going to deliver my son on all 4s like a dog, and that's how I did it.
In the water?
Yeah.
Me can't manage, So you alright, so you envision that and you ensure that and it's a safe position as well.
Well, I mean, I don't think I ensured it happened. It's just because I remember I had no medication, anything. I did everything natural.
Right.
So it was just the way that my body felt I needed to be in.
And you delivered with ease?
I was in labor for about 5 hours. So I went into labor
bad.
about 8, and then he was born around 2.
How much did he weigh?
Was it 6? I think 6 pounds 7 ounces.
Alright, so about average. Wow, that's exciting. Anyway, I don't want to talk about water birds anymore, because for me, like I see the blood in the water, and I'm just not excited about the idea, all of that. There are a lot of things. I'm going to go watch it on YouTube. It's like the pimple popper thing. Like some people like that stuff. And they watch
I did so much research on it before, and I mean, I've just seen that like even just, I don't know if it's medically, but when a woman is giving birth and she's on her back,
right,
it's harder for her.
Yeah. Sometimes standing is easier too.
Yeah, because it work against gravity. I feel like the water birth was much easier and it calmed me down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want people to know I'm for water births, by the way. I just that, I've seen babies being delivered. I've delivered a few.
Yeah.
I just think of blood. But, some people can't handle blood.
You don't like blood?
I can't handle blood. I'm a doctor.
That's the main reason why I didn't become a doctor, because I just don't like. I can't manage like too much blood.
I'm good with blood, man. Actually, I like stitching up wounds and
like doing that.
And cutting abscesses. Like sometimes I'm more water like a bit. Anyway, but let's come back onto our topic. All right, so fine. You are now a mother. You have a new baby. You're in the next phase of life. What is happening right now? You're breastfeeding, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm breastfeeding.
And what is your support system like?
My midwife, my doula, Liz, she's still very much present, and my best friend, Nev. The dad is present sometimes, but he just has a very busy and hectic schedule.
Right. So, and your parents are present? Yeah,
but my parents and I, we don't really have that strong of a relationship.
Right.
And it's always been that way. So I don't necessarily turn to them for support and advice. I tend to just deal with everything on my own.
But we're going to give them some credit because they do help, right?
Yeah, like they will help in aspects of like probably watching him when I have to do a shoot or stuff like that. But for me personally, as a new mother, in terms of support, like emotionally and stuff, I don't get that from them.
Right. Wow. All right. That's deep stuff. All right. Tell me some stuff that you miss about. So now you have a baby. So you feel totally different. You have a new life taken care of. Are you starting to miss things about pre-motherhood? And of course, with all respect to the baby and the life of this new, wonderful new life that's brought into the world.
Of course. Come on.
It's
talk truth.
It's
yes.
talk truth.
I do miss certain aspects because I am a person from ever since I like solitude. I like to be by myself.
Right.
Yeah. I don't mind mingling with people, but for the most part, like there are times when I just need to take away and just recharge. So I like being by myself. So having a newborn baby, you never have time for yourself unless he's sleeping.
Until you're 18.
So that's probably the only aspect about it that I miss. But I think the time that I spend at work is enough alone time, even though other people at work sometimes can be too much.
That can be too much.
What about
roads? So you can't just take up yourself on the road.
No, but you see, I did start to get tired of the road thing from even before I had King. I was literally just like working.
So it wasn't too weird in terms of...
And him do road with me.
Wow.
We'll go Portland, we'll go beach. Don't think I can't carry my dance, and to be very honest, I started tired of dance, but yeah.
Right. All right, that is interesting. And what about other social activities? So now, hanging out with friends, just doing other stuff in general, would that cut down?
Well, the thing is that I have a lot of friends. I love them, but I don't know the truth. We hardly see each other. That
Right.
is the reality.
From even before you were
From
pregnant.
even before, because when I moved back to Jamaica, which was like about 5 years ago, I just started like working in the industry after I got over my whole depression thing for like a year. So for me, it was always work. Who I was hanging out with was people that I was working with.
You keep opening new doors, you know. Just give me a little summary of the depression thing. You don't have to give me the
so real,
details, but what was
people.
it tied around?
Okay, so boom. Ever since I was young, I've always planned out my life. Zine. So I met this guy, you know, first love, all these things, and we got engaged. But before all of that, he went away for college. So in my little head, I'm just like, you know, Jamaica really don't have anything to offer me. And he's over there in the States. I'm like, I should
not be
find
with him?
myself over there and,
Mhm.
you know, build a life, build a foundation, all these things. So went away, did school in the same state that he was in. But, you know, life, we never ended up working out. You know, still friends to this day, you know. But I think the reality is that when you move to the States, well, for a student, the only way you can get to States if you get married or if a job hires you.
Right, exactly.
And in the film industry, it's hard to find a company that would just hire you.
Right, it's either that F1 student visa or it's that H1 work visa,
Exactly.
or you get married.
Exactly.
Or you come back a year.
Exactly. And I mean, he was a citizen, so that was sort of the plan in our head.
Right. So
But just life didn't work out that way. And I think just the reality of knowing that it was like 6 months before I had to come back home and we broke up and a lot of things spiritually was just happening in my life. And I just lost it.
So retrospectively, you were probably a little too optimistic, but you were probably
Yeah.
what you would say.
I was a hopeless
we call
romantic.
it
That was my damn problem.
Do we eyed and expecting everything to work out. So when it never worked out, it hit you.
That, yeah, and then just the reality of all this student loan in US
Right.
dollars, and I'm
Right.
just like, I mean,
What the hell? Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, yeah, I lost it. I literally remember calling my mother and being like, "Mommy, come and get me," because I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I not see myself.
Wow.
So that was the whole depression. So I came back to Jamaica. I was in depression for like a year. Wouldn't leave my house. All these things.
So you weren't really seeing your friends. All right. So that was
Yeah.
weird how we got
But
there.
then the reality is a lot of my friends are, you move away for 5-6 years. Everybody have their own little cliques.
Everybody is,
now,
is
people
an
move
adult.
away. All these things
yeah,
and
then
life.
relationships, jobs, whatever.
Yeah, which I don't take,
Right.
personal.
It's just
it is
progression
what
of
it
life,
is.
yeah.
Right. So when we see each other and we link, it's like we never lost contact. But the reality is that I was only hanging around people that I work with.
Right.
So social life was just work. 1 and 2 times I probably got wet Sundays or a MVP or a one party if I feel like it. But I'm more of a beach person,
A nature
chilling,
lover,
watching
hang out with
Netflix and
friends.
them things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause studio, them like a thing there.
Let's hop to the meat of the matter now. So you have a young baby. Is
Mhm.
anywhere in your mind are you thinking about finding a connection with somebody else? You know, you have a baby father now, which I hear a term that I don't love, but I mean,
hate it too,
yeah, I don't
and I
really love
hate
it.
the term,
I
the
use
term
it
baby mother.
because you know we are Jamaican and it's kind of
It
ingrained in
bad.
us.
Listen, I actually
we're-
saw a post where they had baby mother, which actually means the mother of the child that caused havoc in the baby father life, and then mother of the child, the actual mother who handles her business and takes care of things and has a good relationship with the father.
Right, it's a mother
So,
versus
I mean,
a
it is
baby mother.
There's a bad connotation.
Yeah, so to my
attached to
viewers,
it.
my listeners who are not in Jamaica, especially if
Yes,
the
because
ones
you
who are
don't know, so
the
we're
ones who are right, we're
international.
international, the ones who are not connected to the diaspora, we have some terms that we use. So you know, when you're unmarried and you have a baby mother, same thing for the father. When you're unmarried, you have a baby father.
Mhm.
But there is a negative connotation because when you say baby father, you kind of think of what you think of, like that father that not taking care of his child in a way.
Well, I mean, I think there's more.
There's a whole lot of different things.
Yeah, I think
tied
it
to
just
them.
depends on the perspective, but
But it's not always
I
positive.
think mother of child and father of child is
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 better, right?
better.
Because they do have functions and roles and
Yeah.
they're present.
the other term. Just seems like you don't have any tact. It
Yeah,
just seems,
yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. All right,
Mhm.
so you have a father of a child,
Yes.
and you are now a mother of a child.
Mhm.
Are you thinking about dating
Of course.
from the baby come out?
Probably
mean-
before King came out.
Right,
Yeah, of course. I mean, as I said,
because you're a
We
normal
weren't-
person. This is the thing, you know.
Yes.
We like to change
I'm a
people.
done tell you some was a hopeless romantic. So
For
I
a long
mean, as
time.
much as my heart they get broken, I was just like, okay, but I still have life. And love is a beautiful thing. So why am I going to give up on that? Because one person never realized the greatness I stand in front of them.
Oh wow, it's
You
true
see
though.
me?
It's
Yeah.
true, but you know, it's sad that you see what I've done though. We often have changes in body changes, physical changes that
Mm-hmm.
that you see externally, and it means that you totally have no brain for love. Like I'm thinking you're pregnant, so you're not thinking about love, but the two
No,
are totally
man.
unrelated. You
No,
just
man.
you're just pregnant, but you're still thinking about relationships. You still think about sex. You still think about all the things
All
you
of
normally
that.
think about. were you thinking that you would probably meet somebody new with a new baby?
The thought crossed my mind, but I made a promise to myself that I would give myself some time first with King to balance on earth and figure out how we go, do this dance alive before I even entertain somebody else.
What time frame you had in mind?
I had given myself a year. I did give myself a year.
And you would have been you would have bounced back physically in 6 weeks. What were you thinking would a year would give you?
I think I was thinking that a year would give me enough time for me and him to start to have a routine, because I know I hope to start, which I did, give thanks, to start working back at 6 months.
Right.
So he would start to get used to me not being around, and so even when he's transitioning to school and daycare, he's just used to that, because I didn't want it to be a case where when I leave, he's just crying on the place because I'm not going to want to go where I'm going.
Right, and they do have some separation anxiety.
Yeah, which he's starting to have now, which is so weird.
Not so weird, actually.
It's not weird, but
it's a different kind of... It manifests in different ways at different ages.
Yeah.
So how old is King now?
About to be 11 months.
Oh, so he's almost at the 1 year mark. That means that you're a month away from your starting to date goal.
Yeah, but things look dim.
Things look dim, right? Wow. So, all right. So you gave yourself that timeline from the beginning. Mm-hmm. We're almost at that point now. Mm-hmm. Can you say that you're actually comfortable getting back into the game?
Getting back into the game
of dating, meeting people.
I think I am, because realistically I've been single for almost 7 years.
Wow.
Meaning not being in a relationship. So it's always that yearning to have some type of companion. You have a rough day, just want to come and talk to somebody about it, or just have to be real, someone who just cares about how you're doing, to ask how you're doing. But at the same time, because of how I have been hurt the last 2 times I got my heart broken, it's not something I'm running down. So it's more of a flow than a force. If it comes into my space. Flow than a force. I like that. But you really are a hopeless romantic. I like the angle you came from, because in this day and age, a lot of women will jump to say they want a man to mind them. But you said you want somebody to ask you how you're doing and just to make sure that you're okay. So I don't
made
need
it
no man
about
for
you.
Mind me. Mind me for what? I make my own money.
All right. I wish I could play all the ladies independent, so your hands up at...
That's how I was raised. And I've seen women do that, and I don't understand what they get out of it, but to each his own.
You get money, my friend.
Yeah, but it's not your money, and I feel weird.
And then you can sing, you have money.
And then a man can look for me and say, I'm me buy she be her that. I'm me buy her that.
Well, no, that's the thing. All right, so you are worried about the entitlement, but the truth is that there are a lot of benefits to having a sugar daddy. So women definitely like to have them, especially when you're struggling with a young baby. It's not an unusual reality. I'm not saying that's your reality.
No, I totally understand.
Some women have
to do that.
And them
but I hope when they do that, because everything has its lifetime, I hope when they do that, they have a plan. Right. The money you're getting, using it to open a business, put on some money in your picnic trust fund, something like that. Not just take the money and spending it buying hair and nails and flossing. What them call it now? Braffing?
Braff, we are braff.
That is ridiculous.
All right, so do you think Jamaican men, and this is a blanket statement, so you are allowed to dissect it any way you want to. At 29, a young girl, do you think that Jamaican men are prepared to date a woman with a child?
I think there are.
I ask you broadly.
Yeah, because honestly,
because it's not a blanket.
No, I've been seeing a shift in the past couple of years. I'm not gonna lie. Like even when I'm on the road driving and stuff, I know growing up I used to see a lot of women with kids after school or stuff, but now I've seen a lot of dads. Yeah. I'm seeing a shift like that, which is good. Seeing a lot of more dads with young babies.
And though I probably am not in the place to speak, I'll probably just train and say, I think I would date someone with a young baby. It's something I really...
But I will say there are some men that cannot do it.
It depends on the stage of your life too. I think if you caught me 10 years ago and you asked me this question, I say, hell no. Because I don't want a woman to pick me serious. Like I don't want to take that time. Because I don't think emotionally I would have been in a place to handle a woman and a child. Because it's really 2 people. And it's not 2 people, it's 3 people.
Yes, because you have to
deal with
the
father of the child, you know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother ballgame depending on what type of personality that man is. Because some man don't want no other man around them picnic,
time soon.
And I get that. If I had a child who
Yeah,
was in
it-
another
it's-
house
it's-
or another
it's
man, it means that they're
protective.
going to learn the principles of this man. Or this man is going to
Yeah.
have an influence.
It's the
It's
level of maturity that you reach.
Yeah, you know, you have to be able to accept that I can father from a distance.
Mhm.
This other man is going to function kind of like a guardian stepfather. And that's fine if you can
Yeah.
handle that. But
The
some
more the
man
merrier.
can't.
Like, I have to say it. I love the way Tammy and Wayne.
Right,
Wayne
these
Marshall
blended
blends in.
families, as we say,
Yeah,
Tammy
it's
and
very
Wayne
possible.
and Regina, and
It's more knowledge, you know.
It's more
It's
knowledge.
more
It's
knowledge or
and
more
if everybody
support.
can get along.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to have the power to release things. Meaning,
Open
you know,
space
Jamaican
or
man territorial. So in
communication.
other words,
Yeah.
even though you and him not together, sometimes we hold on to women, you know. We hold on to them. So there's a part of you where don't want the woman. But the woman have your picnic and you hold on upon her. And you don't want your brethren have her, you don't want no other man have her. But it's unrealistic because truthfully, if you don't want her, then release her back into the universe.
Allow her to be happy.
Allow her to be happy, allow her to find it, right? So that's the kind of maturity you
That's
need.
issues. The man who does that has issues.
A lot of men have those issues though.
Yeah, you guys need to go and see a psychiatrist. I'm so serious.
I have a good friend who's
because
really
the
good at
reality of
releasing.
it, you know, is that the men who have those issues, they don't know how subconsciously they're transferring that to their children.
Yeah, absolutely. That can happen
Because at
too.
the young age, I think it's the first 4 years, they absorb so much.
And across the board in our relationships, we need
Yeah.
to learn to release relationships that we
heal and move on.
and that we don't heal and move on. And if you don't need it, if you don't want it, why you hold on for the people them emotionally and lock
It's a
them up.
sense of entitlement, man.
All right, so have you been dating?
No, you see this whole thing about dating now. I never even used to date
Define
before.
that they know.
Yeah,
What
because
is
I think, you know, in
dating?
America, them have this thing where you go and you dating different people or whatever.
Them say Jamaican people
going
don't know
out
how to date. Them
Physical.
say we
Yeah,
don't date.
I don't think it's a part of our culture.
We don't know how to date. You meet and you have sex, or you meet and you hang out.
And
But
within 2 months in a day.
You're there in a relationship.
Yeah, without it developing from a friendship into...
That's what dating should be,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I
Getting
think
to
it
know
should.
somebody. Right?
Yeah, I mean, come on. There's a thing some people date, like them change them drawers. And that is just... that's it. I think it's too much. I mean... I was never much of a dater to begin with. My first relationship was 8 years. And I was engaged and everything. And then the depression thing happened.
And then the single don't
actually
happen.
during that when we broke up one time, I was in a relationship for like 4 months. So it's only literally 2 boyfriends I can say. Like 2 men must say yeah I'm a man.
Right.
Only 2 persons I've said that for. So figuring out dating is also what I'm doing now.
I like that.
You know?
So you can't really say you've dated, but you're figuring out how to date again.
So I have gone on dates, meaning that probably have I? No,
You've
actually
been
I'm
out.
supposed to. I've been out. I haven't been on a date yet.
Right.
Like,
An
you know?
official date.
Yeah, I haven't been on an official date.
What exactly does figuring out dating entail for you now?
Because I'm a very feisty person.
Mm.
So even just you have to. It's like, you know, people can say, okay, I go on Tinder and I meet 3 guys that will have the same compatibility, or we're going to go to the movies.
Right.
Can I do them something there? Me for sit down in the movies with somebody I don't know, suppose him annoy the hell out of me. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I have to feel your vibe and your energy first. And if
Right.
I'm intrigued, then we can spend more than 5 minutes around each other.
I'm about that. All right. Figuring out dating. So I threw one potential insecurity. Not your insecurity, but one potential concern, which is, are Jamaican men ready to date a woman with a baby? Are there any other insecurities, concerns, or things that you've had to deal with after having a baby?
My body, definitely. My body.
Yeah, have you lost some of that? You were over 200 pounds, coming from 130. You've lost
but
some.
it takes a while.
It takes a while, eh?
Yeah, and I mean, I've always had a flat stomach, and now this thing in front of me just annoys me. But
You still feel sexy?
yeah, I do feel sexy. I don't feel as sexy
Yeah.
as I did before.
Because the flat belly sexy is a different sexy from
What
the
different,
post baby
you know,
sexy.
you drive the car and you slouch little, nothing a roll, no beer things
No
are
beer
roll.
things are
I'm
roll.
like, what is this? But the irony is that I miss my pregnant belly. That big belly was so comforting
That's weird.
to rub it.
Yeah.
It was just so comforting. I
And
used to
know
just
there-
walk and
there are
hug
probably
it.
other women who have had babies who can probably comment on this episode. I really can have nothing to say
No.
about it. I thought people hated
No,
it.
but you have women that even like men with bare bellies. I don't know. I think
You
yeah.
have a belly thing.
Yeah, I would like something to just rub. I mean, it's nice to have abs. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
But nothing wrong with that little pudge.
All right, so dating,
Yeah.
body. You miss drinking alcohol while you're pregnant?
I miss wine. I'm not gonna lie. I
Okay,
do
still
miss
breastfeeding,
wine.
right?
Yeah.
So you don't really drink?
Mm-mm.
All right. But at that, 11 months, like, no, I'm not encourage that.
No, I get you. No, when I went out one night, the first time I went out, don't it? But the thing is that when I do drink, I feel guilty. I'm just like, can't go and get this. I'm going to get drunk in the night, for me. Wow. But I went out with my sister, and I had a drink the first time I went out since having King, and I just make sure I drink enough water and pee like 3 times, thinking it will regulate out on my body. Right. But yeah, I'm soon have a glass of wine because it's overdue.
All right. How do you cope with any insecurities that you may be having now? I mean, you haven't really said that you have any insecurities. Do you feeling cool? Like you feel good, easy breezy? Is it challenging? Baby, can you have to get a babysitter whether your parents or whoever you're leaving the baby in? There are a lot of steps that have to happen to go out and to do stuff again.
And the thing is, a support system. Oh my gosh, King has 2 nannies.
Yeah.
One of the nannies, she basically was my nanny.
Yeah.
And then her daughter is his nanny as well. So, they make a big difference in my life in terms of like on a day, in the daytime. Like they have no problem watching him and stuff. Luckily enough, he doesn't like wake up that much throughout the night.
Right.
So even if I leave him with my mom, because I've been on shoots till like 1 a.m. and he's with them. And when I went out with my sister, I was out till 4 a.m. and he was fine. But the reality is that the insecurities that I have or I had were similar to what you just mentioned with if a man would want to date someone who has a child. That was one of probably the first thing, because I know people who probably were interested in me before I was pregnant, after having a baby, they're not. They disappear. Yeah, they disappear. Is a different energy.
So that's a reality.
But how I look at that, or how I deal with the insecurities, as you're asking me, is that I try to live a very positive life on the real tip. Not just say I live in a positive life or appear, and then not do the work behind closed doors. So for me, it was just like, if the man I'm interested in not interested in me and my son, then you're not the man for me.
Yeah, I like that. You said it earlier with something else too, and it's a good way to approach life. If you're not magnetized to you or not coming to you, just let it go.
Flow. We don't
flow,
force.
Not force.
Yeah,
I like it.
So if you're not,
you should trademark that. It should be a T-shirt. That's all I'm saying.
I want a T-shirt.
Yes, TM. Don't body steal that.
Nobody.
Yeah, flow, not force. I really like that, and I agree. That's gonna be a quotation I'll put up from you, Stacy Sutherland. Flow, not force. If you could go back in time, would you change anything? Not be pregnant, not do it now.
If I could go back in time, I would have been in a relationship while I'm engaging in those activities that can give me a child.
Right. I can respect that. I really like to feel that everything happens for a reason.
Because it's like if it was to happen and then the situation was just like, Jano, we're in this together, we have our child now, let's do this. Then it's different. It
changes the element.
Even though you have people that are probably in that situation and the man is like, oh my God, and then it just throws up everything. But I feel like that's the only thing I would have done different.
Yeah, I like that you didn't say that you wouldn't have the child, but
I would.
There are no regrets about the child, right?
Not at all.
And tell me about what it feels like to be a first-time mother in terms of bringing a whole human life into the world and seeing that life kind of start to grow in front of you. What's that feeling like?
Well, it's a different kind of love. And mothers used to tell me this while I was pregnant. Oh, you're going to feel a different kind of love. And I'm just like, what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But I was just like, this feeling is different. It was just, I remember when I was in labor, and I just, we were in the tub, and they were setting up the bed because it was around that time that probably the baby would come. And I was just like, he's coming, he's here. I literally just pulled him out of me.
Right.
Yeah. And just seeing him, something happened in me, because even though I know I'm not the same person. Deliveries?
Did you cry and all these things?
I didn't cry. I cried probably 3 weeks after.
Right.
I cried 3 weeks after. Yeah, it was just a very surreal feeling, because as I say, we had a connection from he was in my stomach. Like he would sleep on certain sides that used to give me, because of my IBS. He would sleep on that side that would make my IBS go away. So he would help me, and
babies, the new cure for irritable bowel syndrome.
So shit.
Get pregnant.
But yeah, it's a different kind of love. It's overwhelming. I'm not going to lie, it's a bit easier than I probably expected.
For you,
Right.
Your experience wasn't bad.
Yeah, it
Would you
wasn't
do
as
it again?
bad. Yeah, I would do it again, but
In the
just
right
in the right
situation.
situation, of course. I actually look forward to being pregnant again, because it's a wonderful experience, but it's definitely something that's meant to be shared with two people.
I like
you
that.
know? Mm-hmm.
Talk to me a little bit about how you're seeing the future. Like, what would you want moving forward in terms of life, relationships, just a support system for your child?
Well, moving forward, King is loved by a lot of people. Even if they're not like directly in love with me or deal with me, he's loved by a lot of people. So I know he has a good support system, but I would definitely want for myself to be in a committed relationship, so he can see that, because I've heard that it does affect the child when they don't grow up with both parents in the household or as present as they should be.
Right.
More money, more success. I definitely want to have my own agency or my own production company.
I don't want to get into your finances, but without giving out numbers,
Mm-hmm.
tell me about a little bit about the challenges of financing,
Mm-hmm.
taking care of baby diapers, all the things we have to buy.
Yeah.
It's real, right?
Yeah, it is real. But
you had to cut back other things sometimes to ensure you have enough to.
Yeah, he comes first.
Right.
Like, as I get my paycheck, the first thing I do is cover everything that has to do with him, pay off nanny, buy this, buy that, and I just make it work with what's left. So if it's that I don't eat lunch one day or I have to wait till I get home, I just have to do that.
Then you will sacrifice for him.
Mm-hmm,
So there's definitely a major priority shift.
Yeah, it is a major priority shift, but I mentally had prepared for that. So even in terms of just like savings and like, opening up my own investment fund and life insurance and stuff like that, I've done that to ensure. And then just in terms of planning, things that I plan to do is I just open a bank account for him already and put money away for him. So if God forbid anything happen to me, that he'll be okay.
What kind of tips you want to give to young women out there who are not yet pregnant, who are maybe young, who were like you before you got pregnant? What you would want to say to them?
I would say
go on birth control. How much is a condom?
And I used to use birth control, but then it started upsetting my stomach, so I had to stop. But I would say,
well, we know the realities.
Yeah, the reality is,
sex,
the thing is that sex sweet.
That is the reality. Nice, and that's why people do it without condom.
Sometimes, like, I can't simply say, yo, wear a condom.
Yeah, but
sometimes it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. And then that's why people get pregnant.
only have sex with people you're in a relationship with. Sometimes you meet somebody and the vibe nice and it happen one time. It's like I don't condemn nobody. So I mean, I would definitely say this. Ensure that you try your best to create a space that you feel comfortable with whoever that you're doing that with. Like, make sure who you choose to share that space with is serious about you.
That's so funny. You echo me. Somebody asked me that question recently in a professional capacity, and I said the same thing to them. I said, ensure that you're safe, but better than that is see if you have any control of the matter, know that the person genuinely kind of have your back, like they really like you. At least say if you get pregnant for that kind of person, that they'll probably support you. Even if you don't end up staying together, at the very least. All right, fine. So
at the very least, I would definitely say that. Not throwing any shit on anybody, because I definitely have to put this down. But the reality of the situation is that. Yeah, I would definitely say to anybody that, be in a relationship, sex is it's a spiritual thing, So when you choose to enter into that space with someone and, the reality of it is it's supposed to be free, it's supposed to be raw, it's supposed to just be, unhindered and just passionate and stuff. And 9 times out of 10, a baby is made out of that type of lovemaking,
Right.
So just protect yourself and protect your space. And, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are loners, like myself, but it's not good to go through life just by yourself.
You want
have a little support
with.
system.
Yeah.
So if, God forbid that happens to you and you decide that you're not doing an abortion, that you're alright. Because it's definitely rough to go through a pregnancy without, emotional support. I would not wish that on anyone. So that would be my advice to young girls. And for you, just wrap it up.
Stacy, you
try to wrap it
talk
up.
true today. I'm not telling a lie. Thank you. I always thank my guests for being so
You're welcome. Thank
so
you for having me.
candid. You've definitely shared a lot of your personal story, which I figure you're comfortable sharing.
Yeah, I mean,
with
I
the
think
hope
that's
that
the
it
only
will
way. That's the
touch
only way to
somebody
touch
else,
people.
and that they will understand what it's like.
I don't fake it.
And I know this is only a small fraction of what you've been through, to be honest, but at least somebody out there who is maybe a first-time mother can relate, or someone who is sexually active who might just be finding out that they're pregnant, that they won't like jump off a cliff and realize that
it's not the end. Like people used to always say, when you get pregnant, your life is over.
But your life is beginning.
It's a whole new part of your life.
Right, it's a new chapter. It's a brand new chapter, and it can be a sweet chapter too.
Yeah, it is, because the love that you get from that little baby is like, he's the only person in life that I see, like when they see me, they just light up.
Unconditional.
Just light up, and that makes my day every day. Like I'll be having a bad day at work, and I come home and see him, and as soon as I say, Papa Chulo, and he's up and he's kicking, and it's just, yeah.
Well, I think that's a good note to end on. Well, God bless you and your Papa Chulo. And I hope moving forward you will continue to just have a wonderful life and date and do all the things, and that it will just become your beautiful blended family, and it'll be like amazing.
I know, me too. Thank you, Maria.
All right, thank you for being here. So you just listened to episode 13, and that was Stacy-Ann Sutherland giving her very candid experience as a first-time mother. Not a novel thing. Many people have babies all the time for the very first time, but everybody's journey is so special and unique and different, which is what makes life interesting, because we all have such very individual experiences that differ for so many different reasons. So Stacy, again, we thank you for talking the truth. Totally appreciated. Before we come out of this episode, you think we forget about your truth bombs? So we did truth bombs for the first time, and we posted our story on Instagram. And I'm going to tell you some of the cool things people say that they collect. We're going to keep it anonymous because they responded anonymously. Someone said that they collect wine glasses. Since they were 12, they have over 300. I may have a problem. You absolutely may have a problem. That is very intense. Wine glasses. $50 notes. Jamaica, we have $50 notes here. So somebody collects those. A male collects teddy bears. Said great podcast. Birthday cards. I actually still have most of mine. Memes. That's kind of funny. Somebody collects memes, and many people post them. I have a friend who collects perfume. She says she has so many, she doesn't even know what to do. That's kind of ironic because I literally am that dude who has 2 bottles of cologne. Coins and colorful socks. Cool. Pens. Random. I'm a doctor. I collect pens unintentionally. Postage stamps. Do people really still do that? Big up you with your postage stamp collecting self. And the last one we have, birthday cards. Love a handwritten note. I totally get it. Thank you guys for truth bombs. Wow, that's a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 truth bombs. And I told you that I used to collect beanie babies, which I'm not going to call teddy bears. But yeah, I used to have some of them there. So next week, we want to do some more truth bombs. My truth bomb this week, and I want you to answer the same question, is: have you ever had a toilet or what you call them, something there? There's something there where you're going out at a public place, porta potty or toilet experience. You know, the British call it the toilet. Have you ever had a negative or bad bathroom, toilet, or porta potty experience, and what was it? And I'm just going to tell you mine right now. I probably have run out of toilet tissue, maybe as a child, and that was very embarrassing for me, and I think I didn't tell my mother that what really happened was that I made a mess, and I was too embarrassed to let her know that I didn't get to clean up. So I think on the way back home, I pretended like I had diarrhea, and like I messed up myself right before going in the house. I put on a whole production, but I done mess up myself a long time ago. I was under 10, don't judge me. Kids are very smart, and I figured that's how I'm gonna make them feel like I messed up myself on the way into the house when it really did happen at school. Wait, did I run out of tissue? No, I think I had diarrhea and I messed up myself, and I was embarrassed. That must have been it. And I think after that day, I carried toilet paper to school all the time. So in my little bag full of books, you also found a roll of toilet paper. I was organized from morning. Anyway, I'm going to ask you this on Instagram. Go to my story on Sunday while you're listening to this podcast and you share your truth bomb about your toilet experience. I know enough on the share kind of shame. But talk truth. Guys, thank you for listening. You know what to do. Follow us on Twitter at TalkTruthJA. Go to the website and subscribe to our mailing list. That's talktruthja.com. Follow me on Instagram at Mario Evon. That's MarioEvon. And also shoot us an email if you want. Please go over to Apple Podcasts or iTunes and rate our podcast. Leave some words. Tell us how you feel about it. Give it a star rating and show us some love. Guys, this is Talk Truth, a place where your truth shall become your power and absolutely flipping set you free. Thank you for listening. Talk to you next week. Later.